Hello. So today I wanted to talk about how to build a microclimate in Arizona. So you're in the desert, nothing wants to grow, but you want your yard to be green. What's the trick, right? Okay, the trick is to build a microclimate. And so that's kind of what I've done back here. And it's still a work in progress, I'm still adding to it. I just started it last year, so it's starting to green up a lot. It's probably hard to hear me because of this. So part of my microclimate is a source of water. And yes, it does take water to do this, but it takes more than just water. You also want a balance of good bacteria and good fungi in the soil. And so that's the point of this. So what I do with my pond, my big secret is that I have a pond running back here. And I have a pond liner, so it's not just draining pond water into my garden constantly. But what I do a couple times a month is I'll take a third of that pond volume and I'll drain it into my yard just to add all that nitrogenous waste from the fish and things that are in the water to the yard just to fertilize the yard. And so that's nice because you don't really need any fertilizer, and it kind of helps with watering for that day. So a couple times a week I'll actually turn my water off, and so no water comes into my yard from my irrigation system. And that has a twofold purpose. And one of those is actually to let the roots dry out so that they learn to dig deeper. And by letting them learn to dig deeper than normal, you're helping them adapt to a desert type environment. And as you continue doing that periodically, it gets to the point where you can actually, go 3 days without water or 4 days without water. And we're talking 120-degree weather. Okay, and so it's nice to be able to have really deep roots. And it's kind of hard to do that because the clay-loam soil is so compact here. It's very problematic for trying to get plants to survive here and get deep roots. But you have to, periodically starve them of water, make them fast from water. And then by doing that, it helps force them to get deep roots. And then, like I said, periodically allow your pond to drain into your yard, and all those nutrients from your pond will help fertilize your yard.
And the other secret is pretty self-explanatory. Just plant stuff everywhere. If you're somewhere really hot, you need to just plant stuff everywhere. I know some people like to have bare soil. If you have bare soil, it's going to be almost impossible to grow the microclimate. I've tried doing it, it just doesn't work. And so you just basically plant stuff everywhere. Okay, and the source of water back here actually raises the humidity as well. But you'll notice that everywhere I have either plants or I have straw. And you could probably use other things, other forms of mulch, but you basically want to keep the ground covered. You don't want exposed soil because then water just comes out of the soil. The only water loss you want is from transpiration. And so in summer, you want a good microfauna, so good bacteria, good fungus, and then you also want to make sure the ground is covered, plants everywhere.